I honestly, and I've said this many, many times, I'm going to keep saying it. I honestly believe that we're in a second Reformation. The first Reformation had to do with the church coming to the understanding that we are not saved by works, that we are saved by faith. It is the grace of God, a work of God, that brings us to him. While you were still dead in your trespasses and sins, he made us alive together with him. Okay? And
it had a pronomian core.
Yes. Yes.
Now, it wasn't fully articulated. It wasn't fully learned, but at the core, it was pronomian. So anyway, keep going.
Absolutely. And so the point is that in the 1500s, and we could debate when the Reformation starts. Wycliffe, I believe, was at the end of the 1300s. He comes into the 1400s. He translates. Tyndale comes around in the 1500s. Luther nails his 95 Theses in the 1500s. So, and that's really when the Reformation really explodes onto the scene. But it was in the works for a couple hundred years before that. I digress. The Reformation, the first Reformation, was this Reformation that comes from a place of needing the church to understand that it is the grace of God, and it is salvation by faith alone. That is, we have faith in God because he has given us faith, and this is what saves us. The second Reformation, the Reformation that I believe that started probably back somewhere in the 70s and really explodes on the scene in the 80s. Maybe it was earlier than that. Maybe it starts in the 20s and 30s and then really explodes on the scenes in the 1980s, 1990s. The Messianic movement becomes very large. The Hebrew roots movement also takes shape. Just like the first Reformation, we see a huge amount of misinformation, a huge amount of heretical belief that comes onto the scene. And now what we're starting to see after this, I believe this Reformation has started, here we are 30 years later, coming on 40 years later, and people are starting to shore up the scholarship. There's starting to be a foundation of good theology that's starting to take shape and gaining some roots within the Torah movement. And so this is exactly what happens in the first Reformation, right? We see all sorts of heretical groups pop up, and then it's this kind of back to the original languages that really takes shape and gives us roots in the Reformation. Why do I bring all of this up? Well, the point is this. When we talk about sanctification, we're not talking about justification. This second Reformation is about sanctification. The church has already seen justification by faith alone. So now we're in the Reformation of sanctification, which follows justification, right? Once you are justified, you are sanctified. Anyone who comes in a true covenant relationship with Christ is not going to have the mindset of, well, I don't have to do this, because it doesn't.
It's like, imagine you're sitting with Yeshua and you're like, well, what's the minimum you want from me?
Exactly. Wait, so you want me to keep a kosher diet?
Marriage. Caleb, go to your wife on her birthday. Say, I know we've been married. I know we have many kids, but what's the minimum you want from me? And that's my bar. And not that, just so I know, what's the least I can do?
Exactly. And think about this.
What's the least I could do without, and still get all the goods? What's the least I could do and still be a full beneficiary of this relationship? It's. I'm
thinking of my wife right now. I would be.
But that thought does not originate from a redeemed heart.
Exactly.
That thought originates from a calculating thought that is not brought into obedience to Messiah.
Exactly.
And that's we all have blind spots. We all need to learn. We all grow. There's all room for us all to learn and grow, and we all need correction at different times. But examining thoughts is a crucial skill, and we're obligated to it. That's a commandment. We need to. The greatest commandment is to love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength. And if that's the core of your new creation heart, it doesn't square with the thought, what's the least I need to do to be saved?
Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.